going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Bachelorette Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by Allie and Amanda. I was listening to the episode. You did it so well. I was listening to the episode this morning that you were teasing me about. So I decided to get it right.
I've never gotten the eye contact and my name at the same time.
Never?
Wow. Until today.
Never.
Never. I'm doubling down.
The wonderful Becca Moore returns and is with us in studio. How are you, Becca?
40 minutes late. And Nick is mad at me. I'm so sorry.
It's not bad.
Well, I sat down and he was like, hi, you're 40 minutes late. I feel so bad. And I also...
Well, first he said, I'm so late. And then I was like, yeah, but 40 minutes. I said it like in a nicer way. It is my pet peeve.
I'm so sorry.
Tardy,
I cannot believe you even had me back after last time, though, because we were like, we were going at it.
It was a great episode.
Time. Well, because we disagree on a lot of things, for sure.
We disagreed on Shanae. Well, we disagreed that I thought maybe people should be willing to consider that there might be more to Shanae.
Exactly.
As she rolls her eyes.
I hate the devil's advocate thing that he does. That's why.
I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm offering my opinion. Okay. Which might be different than we already fighting.
Yeah. We've been fighting off camera too.
I feel like you're the devil's lobbyist more than the devil's advocate.
Yeah, it's not even advocating, it's lobbying.
The devil.
He was like, I'm sure Shanae has like charming sides to her. Like, what? Now she's charming? I don't know.
Yeah, let's watch Bachelor in Paradise maybe. I don't know. I can't confirm that she's on.
I live in Nashville. I hear like a ton of spoilers, but I feel like I already know.
Oh, it's like Bachelor City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm moving. I move here in 2 weeks. Did you know that?
To LA?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at 3 apartments today.
It's exciting.
Well, I'm late. I'm going to be late now.
Whole day is just behind by 40 minutes.
It's because I didn't confirm my Uber. I didn't hit the confirm button.
I've done that before.
I know, but I was so mad. I was like, why is Uber taking forever?
I've done that on DoorDash. It's like, where's my food?
I know.
And
I
then
was so
that's brutal.
Yeah.
And you're hungry. Yeah.
And it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Either way, we're happy to have you, even though you're late.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, and I also was saying that Nick is like so hard to read. Like, I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
You said mean.
Yeah.
Scary. No, you said scary.
I don't want to be the devil.
Scary.
You said scary.
Intimidating for sure.
Okay.
You never know like what react. Like, I don't know. I never know like what.
Sorry, I'm considering whether I will continue to be on your payroll after this comment. But I feel like you do a very like statuesque listening as opposed to active listening, where it's like know Gabby's like yeah. Totally.
Oh my god, that's my pet peeve with her. Like, I feel like every time they tell a traumatic thing to Gabby, she's like not actually. I don't think that's active listening.
I think it's her trying to show that she's paying attention.
But I would rather someone be quiet while I talk. Like, kind of even like you.
That's intimidating.
No, that's not why you're intimidating.
I'm just looking
that doesn't make you intimidating.
Well, I think I've realized a feedback I've gotten is I'm quiet and I'm really listening. I'm also observing, and it's the observation.
Ew,
that
stop perceiving me. That's what I don't like.
I don't judge quickly because I'm really like, people will judge, they'll come up with stuff, and I'm like, I don't know yet. Like Shanae.
I like judging fast, so that's the thing.
I don't judge fast, but when I do, if I form an opinion, it's often very strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know
but
one person.
I take my time,
totally.
and when once I have it, chances are I'm right. That's how I feel, at least.
Like, at me next time because I'm 40 minutes. I feel like it's all about me.
People make mistakes, Becca. It's fine.
What?
People make mistakes.
Okay. Yeah. Ew. I want to move on. I don't like this. I hate you perceiving me.
We are happy to have you.
I'm happy to be back. I cannot believe you let me come back.
Well, you're a great guest.
Okay. I love it here, though, for real. It's so
cute.
Don't
fuck it up.
Oh my god! I'll agree with everything you say this time.
No, we want you to.
But I brought notes.
We want you to say exactly how you feel.
Oh, I will.
Should we move into a little conspiracy theory to start us off?
Yeah.
Okay, so the internet is a buzz because, as we've seen this season, the whole Logan COVID of it all, how Logan potentially got COVID, why only Logan got COVID, why when Jesse told the guys that, he wasn't...
He was in a situation?
Yeah, that didn't explicitly say COVID, but yet Spencer was asking how he was feeling. He said COVID to Gabby. Like, there just seemed to be a lot of holes, and now people are really, like, running with it.
Like a lot of people, or
I feel like, I've seen it pop up on my TikTok. I know like Reddit is kind of like blowing up of just people throwing theories around of, did he hook up with someone else? Or did he see someone in Amsterdam that had COVID? Or some people are throwing around, maybe he got high in Amsterdam and that was like to ABC. And so they used COVID as an excuse to boot him off the season. It is just a little peculiar of how no one else was exposed, how I know they canceled like the nighttime portion with the guys, but then it didn't really seem like they did any sort of quarantine. So I was wondering, what are our theories? Like, how did he have COVID? And if he did, how did he get it? And how did no one else get it? Was he just getting high and they needed to boot him off? What was he doing?
Do I go? Who wants to go first?
Well, I was going to ask, do you have time to like do your own thing when you're like in a city?
He could try to sneak out, and people have snuck out before and quote unquote gotten in trouble. He had COVID.
You think? I think they would cover the hookup thing. Like they would figure out it.
Why cover it up?
Yeah.
This is a reality TV show.
No, I meant like cover it on the show.
They might not have it. Like,
but they would talk about it. Right?
Yeah, they would talk about it. There definitely is some like, I get there's things that don't necessarily make sense. Yeah, it seems weird that he was the only one who had it. I just don't think ABC is going to have their host, Jesse, lie about something like COVID, which is still kind of a sensitive topic for people. It's still polarizing. It's even political. And it's just like, why have your host? It's one thing to have a producer like tell a fib, but like have your host. That's on Jesse now. He's a spokesperson for the show now. And now he's lying about a medical diagnosis that could so be easily debunked, and they're gonna trust Logan to keep this secret, not to mention and we also don't know if Logan's the only one who had COVID, like staff, PAs, someone else, like he was the only cast who got it. But
so was he
the
just
simplest answer
quarantined somewhere on the ship, you think, for like 5 days, and then they
probably I don't know. I really don't know.
They
I
can't
haven't
stick
asked
him on
around.
A flight.
But the simplest answer is still he had COVID.
They must not have liked each other very. I feel like that would have been way more dramatic, because they would have done like a Romeo Juliet thing. I feel like if they
probably well I don't think Gabby and Rachel really know half these men. Like how much time have they haven't spent any time with him? And I don't think she really. I think she liked Logan. I think she had the hots for him. She stepped back once like Rachel was like mine. And
yeah, I forgot about that.
And then Logan came back, and like it sounded like she was genuinely interested, but by the time he got COVID, she was like, oh well, I wasn't gonna pick you anyways. It would just be surprising to me because if he didn't have COVID, that would have been leaked by now. Think of all the people who would have had to know that he never tested positive or that something else happened. Mm-hmm. Also, like, I'd be shocked if he's not on Paradise. And if he did any of these other things or he had some, like, breakdown or whatever, they wouldn't have invited him back if it was... Yeah, if he got kicked off. If it was,
like, mental health related.
If it was so bad that they had to kick him off or remove him for something that he did or something that happened to him, then they wouldn't bring him back for Paradise literally a month later because they had filmed it a month and a half after they got done.
So you know he was on Paradise?
I don't know for sure. I'd be shocked if he's not. And if he is, then that would show even more that it was probably just genuine. Had COVID.
Yep. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
And for me, the biggest thing is like they wouldn't have Jesse Palmer lie on national television about something like that. Like there's a million other excuses they could have come up with if they needed to like. Also, they could just like not give him a rose. Like they kick off people all the time on that show, and you don't know they're getting kicked off. They just don't get a rose.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it required some big conspiracy theory about making up a COVID diagnosis and then having Jesse say
I have another question. How much are you allowed to drink on the show?
Apparently now it's... Because
sometimes they seem drunk.
Yeah. Well, now that they have a rule, it's, I believe, 2 drinks an hour. I don't know how hard that's enforced because my understanding is that you could have 2 drinks on the bottom half of 1 hour and 2 drinks at the top half of another hour. They get 4 drinks in a matter of
minutes.
Seems like they all sit down at cocktail parties and just start like making out, like don't even talk.
Well, when you're nervous, you just make out.
There we go. Speaking of making out, guess who's doing a lot of kissing this weekend? Friend of show Wells and his new bride, Sarah Hyland.
They got married finally?
They tied the knot on Saturday. Yes.
Oh my God.
It was amazing.
It was
Did you go to the wedding?
Well, I don't think I'm supposed to be able to talk about it quite yet.
But someone else did.
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara.
That was wild.
She posted some photos, which I think was a no-no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the wedding tomorrow on Going Deeper. because
No, I want to know.
my understanding is that there is going to be a lovely Vogue article about the wedding with the details that comes out today, Tuesday. If you're listening to it on Monday night, tomorrow, so check that out. But as these weddings often go, when they have high-profile characters, a Vogue might come along and say, "We would like to cover this and take pictures and get the exclusive." But not if Sofia Vergara comes to your wedding.
No. That exclusive is hers and hers alone.
Because we woke up Sunday morning to she posted about the cake. The wedding cake.
That's not even a selfie. That is
she posted about
details.
things that were specific for Sarah and Wells.
Yeah, because Wells had mentioned that when he was on the show about how they did a really interesting cake situation.
Mm-hmm. Sure, and they had these other things. They had these other things again. Check out the Vogue article. Beautiful. It was a top-notch experience, and we'll talk about it tomorrow on Going Deeper. But wow, Sofia Vergara really decided to
couldn't contain her joy.
So excited.
But she posted all the things that you would want that you'd want to save for.
Is it still up?
I think people grabbed a lot of screenshots of it.
Once she posted about it, then the Sweeklies and the E! News is fair game at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, out of respect for my friends, I'm going to wait till tomorrow.
She also has 26.5 million followers of all the people who could have posted.
Yeah.
She got the word out.
I mean, I can see people not realizing it,
Maybe she didn't realize.
Well,
maybe she didn't, but she is Sofia Vergara, who's probably been to another person's famous wedding and this. I don't know,
that's a randomest
But I feel like she's usually probably one of the most high-profile people in any given room. So I wonder if maybe she was this would be
not
to
in
protect
this room,
me.
Though.
This is they're doing this because they don't want other cast members from Modern Family and other people with high profiles to feel and so it's it's
I mean, if you're asking me
if
if the most famous person at the wedding made it about them, then I guess I don't know anything about her. I saw her there. She was a lovely person. I didn't speak with her, but that was some drama.
She did not understand the assignment.
But anyways, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Go check out the lovely Vogue article and see those pictures.
Or Sofia Vergara's Instagram. Either or, whichever one's more easily accessible.
Those stories should be expired by the time this episode comes out.
Oh my goodness.
But not cool, Sofia.
Not cool.
Hola Español. Speak some German, Amanda.
She's only been taking lessons for you.
Hallo, wie geht es dir? Ich heiße Amanda und ich lerne Deutsch mit meiner Opa, aber du no habt eine Opa, so Babel. So I was saying I learned German with my grandfather, but whether you have a grandfather or not, you got to get Babel because Babel has the verbal skills that it inspires in you by actually having native language speakers say things, having you practice speaking. It means that you're not just learning language in written form or in texting form. You're actually learning it in a way where when you go on that vacation or when you visit those friends, you can really engage and speak
and you've
the
been using
locals.
Babbel in addition to your grandfather, yeah?
Yeah. Cross-training. Because I do German lessons with my grandfather twice a week.
Yeah.
And with language learning, it makes it so quick and easy. You want to do it almost every day if you can. And with Babbel, it's very much doable.
You just need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real conversations in a new language in just a matter of a few weeks. Babbel lessons were created by 150 language experts. Real people. And they're teaching methods that have been scientifically proven to be effective with 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. They have recognition technology to help you with your pronunciation and accents. They have live instructors. They have different games, videos, access to podcasts. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, you can save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/VIALL, that's BABBEL.com/VIALL for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. Do you guys like bread? I know everyone likes bread.
Do you remember that Oprah commercial where she was like, I love bread? I've never related to someone more.
And that will be you every time you open your Wild Grain box.
Wild Grains gives you that restaurant quality. It's like movie costume quality for bread.
Because you take it from the freezer, you put it directly in the oven, And then it comes out this like goldeny, like a little
Really
bit of a
good.
crunch,
Fresh.
warm. I'm like, I am a baker.
And you don't have to, that's the thing. You can pretend to be a baker. You don't have to crack any eggs. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen box for artisanal bread. Plus, they have amazing rolls, pastries, and even handmade pastas. Wild Grain uses only clean ingredients such as unbleached and non-GMO flour and utilizes a slow sourdough fermentation process that's healthier for you and tastes better than anything you've ever could find at a grocery store. Every item bakes from frozen in 25 minutes or less. Plus, with every member, Wild Grain donates 6 meals to the Greater Boston Food Bank. They've donated over 120,000 meals so far. So get your bread on. Have some of the best bread you've ever had right out of the oven. And it's so easy.
My mouth is watering right now. So if we could wrap this up.
I just want eggs and toast right now.
I have some Wild Grain bread waiting for me at home. So if we could just...
All you have to do is sign up at wildgrain.com/VIALL and choose which type of box you want to receive and how often. It's easy to schedule, skip, or cancel. Hungry already? Oh, we know we are. For a limited time, you can get $30 off your first box, plus free croissants in every box. And you will want those croissants when you go to wildgrain.com/VIALL to start your subscription. Did you hear me? Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/VIALL. That is wildgrain.com/VIALL. Or you can use promo code VIALL at checkout.
Also making headlines, Clayton and Susie have decided we know they road tripped from Scottsdale, Arizona to Virginia Beach for the summer. They lived together. They're now deciding to live apart. So Clayton is actually going to move back to Scottsdale, Arizona, and Susie is moving to LA. And Clayton was being asked about this, and he explained it's only a 50-minute flight apart, but we're both chasing our dreams. We both feel that those are the spots we want to be in. I'm working on my computer 10, 12 hours a day. So she was like, Clayton, I'll move to LA, and then we can travel on the weekends to see each other, and we'll see. I thought the "and we'll see" was a bit ominous. But when people are questioning the relationship, he assured everyone that they're very, very happy right now and in a really great spot, et cetera, et cetera. So people were thinking maybe a breakup or starting those rumors because they're living apart after living together. But it seems like it's really career-based and just they want to be in two different cities.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
They're one of my favorite couples. So like I would hit.
They're one of your favorite couples?
Yeah.
Why? I love Susie. Me and Susie are friends on TikTok. Okay, so I love you, Susie. But why are they your favorite couple?
Because they went through a lot, and I really am a big fan of Susie. I like Clayton.
I really like Susie,
and I think Clayton. Well, he did his shit.
Did he do anything that wrong though?
That's like exactly
like I don't even. I feel like
Well, you're right. And then he got fucking crucified, and I think he took his beating. He took ownership for what he did do, which he did something. The criticism and the hatred did not like meet the crime, so to speak. But he didn't make like so many Bachelor people will make excuses and blame other people, blame the show. Yeah. He just took it, and they seem like a very fun, happy couple. They're fun on TikTok. There's nothing not to like. They seem sincere and genuine, and I just like that they were able to like have each other's backs in a very difficult time, and that endeared me to them.
I just really like Susie, and he's just not my... I don't know why I'm like living through her. Like,
he's not for everyone, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But this is technically a step backwards. Mm-hmm. We don't love that, but this is a unique relationship. I can see why Clayton moved to Virginia quickly to solidify the relationship because it was tumultuous, and maybe they realized, hey, we are still a young couple. Mm-hmm. We're not engaged. We wanted to like make this work, but possible, but like certainly if you are a Clayton and Susie super fan of the relationship, you might be a little nervous.
What's your opinion? Do you think they'll last?
Well, my opinion is my opinion.
You don't know? 50,
I don't know.
50? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speculate.
I think they break up. That's mine.
Well, the odds of any Bachelor relationship working out are.
You did long distance too, right?
No, she moved to LA right away.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we broke up.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know, but if I had to bet, I think they'll break up. What do you guys think?
I don't think it's a good sign necessarily. And
it's not a great sign.
It's not a great sign. And what I'm questioning is clearly they packed up his whole apartment in Arizona. He did the cross country move. Clearly he's going back there. He really now we know he enjoys his life there to the point where he wants to go back, even if that's alone. I mean, Susie has her videography business and she's tried to emphasize she wants to do more like travel and do like destination weddings. So maybe her location isn't as specific as it, I don't know. But I'm like, the fact that it doesn't feel like she's jumping back into the Scottsdale of it all. I don't know if he necessarily wants to be in LA. Clearly they didn't stick it out in Virginia Beach. So I'm like, if it becomes a location thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of the Kendall and the Joe of it all. It's like it really,
that was,
do the
I miss them
locations
together still. I still want them together.
I like him and Serena. I think they're really cute.
Yeah, they are too. But I love Joe. Just Kendall seems so heartbroken on the beach.
They did her dirty.
I cried.
Think they did her dirty on
dirty.
Paradise.
I cried. They didn't?
I don't think so.
Oh.
What do you think happened? You think that was her?
Kendall and Joe?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I think.
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do I think? What do I know?
You just said something crazy.
What?
That's crazy. That's a conspiracy theory. That they didn't do her dirty?
I think she knew what she was doing.
Really?
Yeah.
But she said that when she walked to the proposal scene, she didn't know that was like Joe's proposal.
That might be somewhat true. I think it's easy to nitpick moments that you don't know exactly everything. And then you'll hear conversations of and I don't know this specifically about Kendall, but you'll have her then you'll hear contestants talk about how like I knew this and like they have the producers figured out type of thing. And I think it's all a game, especially in Paradise. They act like, they're all like well-read and experts in their own storyline. And I just think for Kendall's a smart person. And for Kendall to walk down to that beach at the time in which she was walking down, having already been engaged on that show, right? They got engaged or were they just dating? Either way, they made it to the end. And not, you know what I'm saying? And be in that world and act like she had no idea it was going to happen or that she should even trust the producers in that situation. Like, I think there's a level of like convenient, like, oh my God, like, I didn't know. Like you told me it wasn't going to happen. Yeah,
I can see that.
And I think it's just very easy for a lot of people in that world to blame the show or blame the producers. And at the end of the day, everyone down there wants airtime, wants camera time, wants attention, wants to feel.
I think that she was in love with Joe. I don't think she wanted more airtime.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
She was definitely in a pickle. Like, no fun to watch your former serious boyfriend.
I get it. I don't doubt that it was emotionally hard for her, and I don't doubt that she felt real feelings. But she still knew what she was doing. She knew what she was getting herself into. She could have handled it a bunch of different ways that didn't require her to like take a psych test, an STD test, and walk onto a beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are other ways.
Well, not really though. Like, I bet she didn't think he would go on the show.
I think she hated the idea of him going on,
moving on
and
like
literally without her and being likable grocery store Joe and
He's
getting fanfare without him.
I love him.
Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah. And then it's like the worst part of it is that he picked Serena, like such a lovely. Mature,
oh my God, yeah.
Emotionally intelligent
bad
person.
about her.
Yeah, so you can't talk shit about her. Like she's beautiful and
I
wonderful.
wish it were like Shanae. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Should we move into the episode?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not talking about Ben?
That was pointless, but I can.
Ben wants kids? Okay, that's fine.
God willing, they'll have children. Like, okay, great.
Fertility is a thing. Infertility is a real thing now.
I'm not talking about it. No. That's not. It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Allie Martin is over Ben Higgins.
Allie Martin doesn't care about Ben Higgins. It doesn't care about fertility struggle.
Oh my God! It has nothing to do.
I'm joking.
I am a miracle baby.
True.
Let's talk about my mother's infertility. No, he just made a statement. I think people are questioning it because it's like, not questioning it, but bringing it up because they're coming up on 1 year since getting married. So they were talking to him, about his wife and if they wanted to have kids. And he just said they're excited for kids and that God willing, they will have kids. But right now they don't have any sort of baby fever and they do have a kid and it's a puppy.
This weekend,
we're making sure the puppy has a good life.
We were talking this weekend and I said how getting Jeff, my dog, has only made me that much more excited about being a dad. And Ben was like, that opposite for me. Apparently the dog's a struggle. I think there's love there, but Or maybe he just doesn't have a...
Ben does not love his dog.
That would be so funny if like the kindest man in America hates his dog.
Ben is an only child.
Interesting.
Wow.
So maybe he doesn't have the caregiving...
Ben is going to be a bad dad, according to Nick.
Just headline after headline.
He just might not want to be a dad.
He said
You're
they're
giving us a lot
excited
of
for
good
kids.
sound bites right now.
We're excited for kids. I believe that God willing, we will have kids. It's not something either of us are craving.
Ben's like,
Craving.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting verb.
That sounds like I'm supposed to want to have kids, but I'm not sure if I want kids.
yeah, Nick does not think Ben wants children, it sounds like.
I think Ben will eventually have kids. But I don't think they're eager. Maybe they just want to have sex for a while. They were not having sex.
That's crazy.
It's true.
Maybe they just want to not worry about.
Do it for enjoyment rather than a task.
But I don't want to think about that.
He doesn't want to do it for God right now. He wants.
Okay.
You okay?
It's just gross. Ew.
ShipStation gives e-commerce sellers an easier way to manage shipping. So if you are running any type of small business, especially if it's an online business out of the comfort of your home, or maybe you are a thriving, growing business and you've got some new commercial real estate, doesn't matter. ShipStation is a platform you need to have with your business if you are doing any type of shipping of your product. What's amazing about it is it seamlessly integrates with all e-commerce platforms like Shopify. What you're doing is you're getting the best possible shipping rates in analytics that even the Fortune 500 companies get. You can have them too. It works with Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and more. It lets you automate processes like fulfillment and tracking so you can save time managing orders while keeping customers happy. And you get those deep discounts with shipping rates, which is often the most expensive part of any business. And those same rates that are Fortune 500 companies are getting, you can get them too. 98% of companies that use ShipStation for a year are using it for as long as they are in business. True story. Use promo code VIALL for a free 60-day trial at ShipStation.com and start breathing easier with every shipment. That's 2 whole months of stress-free shipping, and it's free to try. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in VIALL. ShipStation. Make ship happen. All right, let's get into the episode.
Let's do it.
Let's see, hometowns, I guess.
Yeah.
Hometowns. We start with Jason.
Yes. New Orleans.
Oh, my God.
This episode really, total predictions.
I know.
Completely
I
changed,
have
right?
a feeling, yeah.
Yeah, she no longer picks Jason.
Why do they keep saying he has so many emotions? Where are they?
Yeah. It's like our
He's like an
family
empty
feels
shell.
deeply. Yeah.
Like they're like, as you can tell, like, and his dad is so sweet. He's crying, and Jason's just like no emotion at all.
I think it sounds like maybe he deals with some real dark emotions, and it doesn't want to
Like punches holes in his walls at night.
No, maybe just like depression of some kind. I don't know.
I think some people feel stuff in a way that's very like internal and heady. So like he strikes me as someone who like you can tell how much emotion he feels if like when you talk to him about something, you're like, oh my God, you've like thought about this in all of these deep and intense ways. Not necessarily someone who's super like emotional and like an outwardly like reactive
And he doesn't
way.
want to share it to just anyone.
Mm-hmm. Did you clock Gabby's reaction though? Was when he was like, "Oh yeah, I like almost left at the beginning."
And we find out
I thought it
because
really
of Paris, because he's going to Paris.
Well, because of her. I think it's like he got the one-on-one. I think it had less to do with like Paris, but there was definitely a moment where she was like, "Oh," up on that balcony,
but she didn't. Why?
Well, yeah, but
she didn't even care.
It makes sense. Early on, I was the one who thought he was going to go, and I thought he was going to go because he just wasn't saying anything. And it kind of makes sense now. Like, he's just early 30s. It sounds like he has a good job. It's a crazy world to be in there. I remember night one being like, I could get the fuck out of here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was like before I got to talk to Natalie. It was before she gave me the first impression rose. And I remember having this like, what am I doing here? This is insane. Like, I was just by
Natalie?
myself.
Andy,
what did I say?
Natalie.
That's cute. That's very sweet.
We
the woman I had
recast
affection towards is Natalie. It's beautiful.
It was like 1 a.m. I hadn't spoken with anyone. Like the producers were kind of ignoring me. I was just like roaming around the Bachelor mansion with like.
Did you make friends with the guys?
Yeah,
right away?
at first, but like everyone's just like, it's just a zoo night one, and I just remember being like, I should leave. And then I had another thought being like, I'm here. Just fucking go talk to her and see what happens.
Is it scary to like grab them for the first time?
Sure. Yeah. Well, you don't really grab them. You're like, hey, can I go talk to her? And they're like, yeah, sure.
But if you're the lead and someone tells you like I was close to leaving, like in this situation, are you flattered that they stuck it out for you, or are you more concerned that they were a flight risk?
Flight risk, I would be concerned.
No, flattered.
Interesting.
Why a flight risk?
Because why didn't you tell me that you wanted to leave?
Because you were on a date with 4 other dudes.
Well, that's the whole show. That's the whole show.
I know, but it probably was his first time to be able to tell her. Like the whole show.
How could you leave Gabby? She's so cute. Oh, I don't know.
Well, he didn't leave Gabby.
I know, but like, how could you think about it and be okay with that decision?
I mean, at the time, he didn't know he was leaving. It was just like he had met her for 6 minutes.
I would be offended.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder also how much it might have to do with like the culture of the house. Obviously, it doesn't seem like he was in any way like being bullied or like on the outs, but just when there's so many different personality types, and one of them's like not Carl, Chris, like
probably just wasn't
coach.
For him. He probably
didn't he say that on his first one-on-one though, or like didn't he say it's been difficult for me, like being in this, being in the house, being in that environment.
I mean, minus whatever. Like if he's talked about therapy, he's talked about like having. Like really working on that and maybe having some mental health struggles, but minus that, like it is a crazy world. And like there are some people who are like big Bachelor fans and like this is a dream come true. And there are other people, and I think it's more common with men who like maybe their friends signed them up and they like ABC reached out and they went through the casting process being like, I don't know, this is crazy. This is not for me. But like, I don't know, like why not? Like and then you show up and you're just like, this is stupid. My friends are going to make fun of me. This is ridiculous. And you're like, the whole time, you're just like, I'm on an island. No one's talking to me. Maybe he wasn't connected. Maybe he's not friends with a ton of the guys. They cast a certain type of guy for the most part, and like, Andy's season, they were nice guys, but they were just like a bunch of drinking bros. And I was just like, cool dudes, like I'm good, and so maybe he's not connecting with a lot of guys. So maybe he wanted to go. And meanwhile, he hadn't really talked to Gabby all that much. And at the time, it was 2 bachelorettes. He's like, I don't know who I'm even supposed to talk to, And so, it would make a lot of sense that he was like.
He doesn't seem like the type to
want to go.
To be there. I don't think.
Yeah, he's not your atypical.
I don't think he has a personality. Have you seen on TikTok that thing of like the theory that everyone's an NPC, a non-playable character? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like a background character kind of. And like if you keep talking to them, it's really an empty shell of a person. Like not to like say that he's an empty shell of a person, but kind of. I haven't seen any personality. I don't know.
Some people don't want to show their personality to everyone. I can be like that, Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I don't really need you to know who I am.
I feel like in the past seasons though, by hometowns, like everyone is so deeper than like this hometown I feel like wasn't taken seriously.
Well, that's partly because we're watching this episode and like there's no relationship here.
Oh yeah.
There's this, but honestly, even the strongest relationships, like before, obviously Eric, and we'll get into his dad, and that was, you see Eric and Gabby, but like they had one date that, kind of didn't go great. Other than us joking about Tino and Rachel and the obsession that she seems to have with him, there's no like, because of the 2 leads and so many relationships, we haven't seen enough in any one relationship that we're really rooting for any relationship, In
Bachelor in Paradise, they escalate so much faster and feel way more real, like the relationships on that show.
Well, because while there's a lot of different relationships to cover, often from like episode 1, people lock into that one person. It's not like, oh, well, let's see Gabby with, Eric and then Jason. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, it's a totally different dynamic. Well, here, like you have Gabby and Rachel going back and forth. You had Logan flopping. It was all about like what Gabby and Rachel are going to do. It wasn't really about the relationships. It wasn't really about the men. So now we're at hometowns. We know very little about the men. We know very little about these relationships. Yeah. And we're just kind of like, all right, sure,
Which one are you rooting for more?
If I had to pick one? I mean, I guess after this episode, Eric.
No, Gabby. I meant girl-wise.
Oh, rooting for?
Yeah.
I'm just not. Gabby.
Okay. Rachel follows me on TikTok, so.
Rachel's been hard to root for me.
I love both of them. I'm not going to have an opinion on that.
Oh,
I wanted you to.
What's your opinion? I think you're rooting for Gabby, and I think you feel loyal to Rachel because she's following you. But you also are often watching and going, chill out, Rach. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love you, Rachel. It's just like, I feel like I don't understand because I wasn't on the show because I didn't make it on. Did you guys see that? I tried to get on the show.
When?
I didn't get, like 2 years ago. I was bartending. And I just.
How far did you go?
I mean, they told me I had to get vaccinated and everything. So I thought I was like about to be on the show. But.
So you went through.
Yeah, casting.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't make it on.
Who was the Bachelor?
Clayton.
Whoa.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say anything.
Surprised.
You're surprised?
Seemed like you seem like a type of person they would very much be interested in casting.
Well, I wasn't showing my real personality. I was pulling out like I was trying not to be too crazy because I didn't want to be the villain. Because I feel like they could edit my sound bites into being a villain.
For sure.
And I don't want to be a villain. But I didn't get on. I don't know. Okay. So I don't understand how the emotions would work, but I do feel like I feel bad for the guys. Like when she cries so much about one guy leaving, and like the Logan, the group date when she canceled it.
Making her happy is a full-time job.
I just really like Gabby too. Like I think she's funny.
She seems to handle
rejection. Kind of.
Well, she seems to be more grounded in like handling disappointment and things not going her way. She seems to have dealt with some real adversity, obviously, with her mom. And it seems like Rachel's sounds like she's had a very well taken care of life and probably hasn't faced a ton of disappointment.
She was really into Clayton. Do you think?
Yeah. And I thought she was wifey the whole time watching it. Like,
I thought she was winning. I even said that on the podcast. Yeah. Like, she's going to win.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
But her and Zach, like, she should pick Zach, right?
I agree.
But I don't think she
I actually think after this episode, I agree with you. I think
that was a beautiful hometown.
That hometown was like perfect storybook.
I think she should pick Zach because I think Rachel needs a guy like Zach.
I think it's going to come down
is obsessed with her.
Right. And it's going to come down to Tino and Zach.
I think eventually Tino won't be obsessed with her.
Tino is a frat guy for sure. Yeah. He is like 20. How old is he? He acts like 20.
I think eventually if she picks Tino, outside of Bachelor World, he will be less excited to do what he needs to do to make her happy.
You know who he looks like? Blake. He looks like Blake.
I think he's 28.
How old is she?
26 or 27.
28 is like young for like maturity wise. I don't know.
It can be.
I think they fight off. If they end up together, they're breaking up for sure.
It's one of those things where it's like you were so obsessed with each other at the beginning, but then like even their hometown date, I just was like,
why didn't he stand up for her? Why didn't he like...
I mean, I will say he was pretty... Like, his parents were throwing a lot of doubt at him, and he was pretty solid in everything he was responding. He did not waver. But even I was just, like, struggling between the connection between Rachel and Tino, of her, like, sitting outside the house and her being like,
they adored you.
She's like, what? Tino, they hated me.
Her dad, whatever happens.
He was mean. I did not like the vibes.
I gotta say, I mean, I thought Rachel handled that pretty well.
She did.
So well.
She really did.
So composed. She used like a big word too.
Especially after we saw all the other families drink the Kool-Aid. We saw other families, because I feel like usually like it's a little bit more common for the parents to be a little bit more on the hesitant, like, are you sure? They still have other people's side. I feel like in this hometown, there were so many parents who were like, tell her you love her. Like, who were like urging them, propose to her. Like, it was,
Jason's like, I don't know if this is like, I don't know, this is weird. I barely know her. I haven't talked to her. And his mama's like, I don't know, don't let her walk away. Yeah. And I'm like,
literally, Johnny's dad was like, "What makes you think you're not ready? Emotionally, financially,
you'll figure it out."
I was like, "Is
he's
he
like,
in
graduated
debt
from high school a week ago?"
Yeah. So like, especially coming from that as like previously in hometowns to then see like Tino's parents who were just like not drinking the Kool-Aid.
They need
like,
to
they
drink
were like,
some
this
Kool-Aid
is weird.
Though. Their son is about to be rich. Like he's gonna be an influencer. That's like he's set. Bachelor and parent. Oh, for sure, Bachelor and parent. These parents not realize like why they need to be pushing their kids to be on the show. Like
not for love, but
not
for
love. No, that's
for the wrong reasons.
Pull a Kris Jenner.
No, literally,
amazing,
like start
sweetie.
being a momager.
So we don't. So we don't like what Tino's parents did. I mean, minus on having the foresight for cash, but like. For the love of their son.
They just made themselves look bad. They're the villain. Like, and also so condescending. How they're like acting like they're so above the show. You're on the show right now. Like you're on the show.
But we have no empathy for parents who didn't sign up for the show. Their 28-year-old adult son who they don't get to parent decided to go on for himself. That's fine. But as parents, they show up. Hey, mom and dad, like I'm bringing a camera crew to your house. It's a very typical thing. We've talked about this every season. The producers will walk in the day before. They'll outfit the house, put like, shit like this, lighting, and the producer will like kind of give them like the beats of this is what's going to happen, but they won't really tell them anything. And all the parents will be like, so what's going on? Are they in love? And they'll be like, well, ask them tomorrow. Did
they know which girl was going to come?
Probably, because I don't know. They
didn't seem surprised.
I don't have two bachelorettes, so they probably knew it was Rachel. And then their son or daughter walks in like, essentially looked brainwashed. Tina's walking in being like, eerie. I love her. And they're like love her?
We've never even met her.
Yeah, we never met her. And being like, you know, maybe they were like, they probably didn't say this, but some version of like, you've been kind of a fuckboy the past 3 years and now you love her, like
especially Tino.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so like they're just probably like, hey man, pump the brakes. They also have like a very tight window to literally like try to like
blink twice if you need help.
Like, hey man.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. They can't even do like an off-camera combo.
There's
they?
no.
Oh,
and so
God.
they're just like trying to like get through their son or daughter about like, hey man, just before you like do this like life-changing choice, maybe pump the brakes, Like, I don't fault his parents at all. I know they came across a little harsh. But
when you're a girl, you're, like, sensitive.
No,
like,
I get
Rachel
it.
Rachel was probably, like, already freaking out.
I get it. And totally tough on Rachel. Like, I thought she handled herself really well.
That conversation should have been for a boy coming to date this. I feel like it would have been.
Why?
Because they're less sensitive. I don't know. Like, if that happened to you, I feel like you could have handled it well. But if that were
Rachel, Vanessa's dad first was like, I can't give you my blessing. And I was like,
what?
I understand.
Really?
Yeah. And then he did like 10 minutes later. It was all for the show. But like, yeah, it's tough.
I forget that.
But it was also interesting because you could tell Rachel was so nervous about it before even going in. And they kind of like fed into it of them sitting on the bench.
It's not a coincidence that her favorite guy
Yeah.
was the toughest hometown.
But also, we haven't seen Avon yet. And remember when Avon said, like, my dad didn't like someone, then my mom didn't like someone. So she might be taking like back to back.
I suspect it'll probably go well, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the only one we haven't seen?
Yeah. I feel like it's weird to just leave one out of the mix.
Well, in time, my guess is it'll probably be Avon's hometown, maybe some other, and then a rose ceremony. And then some like heartfelt, like 2 goodbyes that pretend to be heartfelt. And then bleed in the tell-all is my guess.
Well,
also, like, how boring is tell-all going to be? They must do that because there's been literally no drama between the guys.
Well, Logan, tell us what happened.
I had COVID.
Yay!
Okay.
All of the guys
commercial
really
break.
They will bleed out this Logan story for sure. It'll be like the back and forth, and they'll have to answer for that. And then they'll probably hopefully get like, and like, who's the fucking mentality? Chris. And a bunch of like guys who went home week 2 will like start yelling at Logan.
The twins.
Yeah. Hayden will have a moment of being like Rambo.
Yeah.
Shanti pointed that out.
Yeah. That'll be it.
This season has been so boring, I think. No drama.
But I feel like the show is returning to its roots in the sense of like there is inherent drama. If you lean into the love story element, like I think that's the best route for drama. Because I think with other shows, you have more mechanisms for drama. There's more like ways that you can be betrayed. There's more shady shit that can happen. With this show, the way to make it most dramatic is to have the most heartful love stories because they can't
we
all
don't even know any of them.
We don't know. Like, hopefully that happens going forward, like with, like Gabby and Eric, like. It's like now I think Eric wins.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
But like I'm not surprised that we were surprised because we have such little information about all these guys that we're making these like, I think Jason wins out of like such little information. We're just like, what was your favorite one-on-one?
What do you think fed into, because I feel like typically when we just have one lead and 4 hometowns, it's very much like day together, night with the family. Why do you think we were experiencing like some right away go see the family, some later? Is it really just like whatever their activity was?
Editing.
I just thought it was interesting. Like Eric, they got to have like the drinks afterward and have their moment after meeting the family, as opposed to other people who are probably still nervous about meeting the family. And then they just like leave the house and don't see their person again.
I do feel like they skimped on the town element of hometown.
I'm sure Eric's hometown had very special considerations given the weight of it.
How can he not win now?
His dad is, well, how can he not? I mean, one, either Eric wins or he's the Bachelor.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think.
Tyler's got to be the Bachelor.
Tyler's not.
Tyler.
He's getting the Ben Higgins.
He got I don't think he is going to be,
but I think they set him up as a backup Bachelor option.
Yes.
Gross.
That would be the worst. Are you kidding?
The thing,
disgusted.
Okay, in talking about the
Tyler, no offense, Tyler. He came across as a child. A delusioned
he knew she was about to
child
break up with her.
who like wouldn't just shut up when she was clearly going to break up with him.
She's doing the Office look at the camera panic. She's doing a literal gym moment to the camera being like, what the fuck?
They don't make someone who's like, no, I'm not falling in love with you. I'm in love with you.
Remember
and then show Rachel's face go, that's not Bachelor material. Like, what are you guys watching?
Well, that he's devastated, that he's like, and that he handled the breakup so well.
What?
Or like, I don't believe
How is that well?
But okay, I don't personally.
When
but
someone
I do
tries to
think,
break up with you and you just keep talking over them.
But that when they ultimately do reject you, that you then say, I wish you nothing but the best. I know you'll find a special kind of love. Like, that's what I mean. And I'm not saying like from me personally, I think
but
he
there
did
were
it
no
well,
stakes in the relationship. To me, and maybe this is not his fault, because maybe they had this magical love affair that they just simply didn't show. But I'm guessing they also just didn't. But like, we certainly didn't see it. And so he comes across as this guy who has no business having the feelings he claims to have for Rachel. And he came across as like, as we see every season, is a guy who's just like, should I just say I love her now? Like, is this the moment where I say I love her? And just like saying it because like, hey, I'm on The Bachelor and I want to get the followers. I don't believe anything Tyler says.
Yeah, me neither.
And if he actually thinks that he's in love with Rachel, then he has a lot of growing up to do. I think there's two versions of Tyler. Either he's just kind of insincere there for the TV and just like, hell, whatever, I'll tell her I love her. Or he's a child and he's an immature who, if he believes that's love, then come on. And he was just like, I still believe in this love. What love? She doesn't like you.
I think it will be, if he's on Paradise, it will be really good data, because if he does the same stuff, then it will be like obviously incredibly
I predict
phony.
He will. I predict he will also fall. And like maybe, and again, I'm being a little harsh. Yeah, he's young and like he has a very, again, immature view on what it means to be in love, where it's just like a fantastical fairy tale experience. And maybe that's what he thinks love is. And if it is, then he will go on Paradise and do the same thing. Or if he just thinks he's supposed to fall in love. But there's no like, what do I love about you? Or how, it's just like...
It's like the opposite of Nate's whole thing to Gabby, where he was like, I love the way you look off to the side. Like, I love that. Like, the very specific, like, nuanced little details. His is like, you are a princess in a castle.
Yeah. It just reeked of, like, trying to convince
Princess
someone...
of the boardwalk.
I thought it was awkward and kind of, ew. The way
kind of rude, too.
Yeah.
To, like, take up your... I don't know.
She's like, I just, but, like, let me...
This is about me.
I want to convince you why.
Yeah, why?
Well, just this love was real. This love?
Yeah, this love where I can't even read your face because you're dying to get out of this conversation and break up with me.
Like your skin is falling off your body because you're so uncomfortable. But no, this love is real.
I do think it was a classy move on Rachel's part to break up before meeting the family.
Sure.
Yeah, that would have been really painful to watch.
Yeah. It's hard to do. The hometones are a brutal week. But yeah, Tyler's not your next Bachelor. What the fuck?
If he is, seriously, at this rate, though, we never know anymore.
We never know.
It's random.
That is true.
We didn't think Clayton would be...
I really think they're keeping him as a backup option. Like, they gave him an edit that could work for The Bachelor.
Tyler.
Oh, my God.
Tyler's a backup option. We didn't
How do you think of Zach as the next Bachelor?
I think he wins.
Zach.
Not Tino?
Yeah.
Wow.
You think she doesn't pick Tino?
I don't think she picks Tino. No. I think she picks Zach. Wait, why? Did you guys all see the spoilers?
No. I just think she's obsessed with Tino, and I think their relationship
it is a realist for her.
It reeks of typical, and I don't fault her for it. I decided I like him night one, and no matter what happens, I'm going to figure out a way to convince myself this is the strongest relationship. Like when she was, in fairness to Tino's parents, all right, tell me what you love about my son. He's just like,
he's so positive.
So positive.
The giving blood thing. That's like the only dad.
Which is nice. But then like parent number 2 was like, tell me what you think about my son. So positive. He's just positive. He's a positive person. Like that is not the type of like adjectives.
And even his dad was like, from what I've heard, you still have a lot to know about each other. Like he called it out.
Because he probably knows his son. He probably knows maybe his son, when he gets in a bad mood, how he acts or how in ways he might feel insecure about things.
But his ego was bruised when he had to stand through that rose ceremony. He was such a brat. That's when I knew.
I didn't mind him there.
I thought he was being bratty.
He was being a little brat for sure. But I understood why he felt the way he did.
Yeah, I get it. But
he definitely,
because he thinks he's a front runner. But
for sure.
But he kept being like, I did so good in the
Yeah, he was definitely bratty. I guess
like, where did you do good? All you did was like,
I lifted the cheese.
Yeah.
I just feel like he really took the bait of like, I think on The Bachelorette, like the contestants will sometimes switch to like man talking about it like it's a sporting event type
He's
thing.
like, I want to win. Like he wants to win.
And I think he really took the bait in terms of like switching to that kind of language of like, oh, well, like I'm a front runner and they're competent.
They're weirdly told and meant to believe that these silly activities they do during the day matter. I know it doesn't, and it's ridiculous, but that's what they believe when they're in this world.
When you're dating someone in real life, though, like the little things that they do, like if you like someone, you know you like that person. Like they don't have to hand you a cup of water for you to be like, he did so many things for me. I must like him
but that's
more.
we all agree that's kind of like the initial stages of liking someone, and that's a very kind of youthful way of that's how we all liked people like early on the playground, so to speak, or in high school. It's just like, I just like you. I don't know, like your face. I'm nervous around you, whatever. And that's what a lot of bachelor relationships are built on. But Tino's parents are like, yeah, but an engagement, I need you to like know each other. Yeah. I want to feel comfortable. My son knows who he's proposing to. And these were fair questions. And Rachel didn't exactly do a good job of answering those questions. Like she said the right things. There were a lot of platitudes. It sounded nice. But if you really listen to what she said, like, I'm not convinced she knows Tino.
I think she likes his face. I think she likes what he looks like.
I think she imagined always ending up someone like Tino. I think he's charismatic, and in fairness to Rachel, like what else can she really trust anyways? Because she hasn't spent any time with these guys. So I don't fault Rachel, but I don't fault Tino's parents. Like, and I thought Rachel handled herself well in a very difficult situation, but I don't think she did a good job convincing Tino's parents that she really knows their son.
The flip side of it though is like, you know, when someone you like is, or like your friend is dating someone and you're like, what do you like about them? And they talk about like kind of their resume in terms of like, well, they're such a good person and they do this and like they do that, like, and they kind of list all these like characteristics and they have receipts and evidence for all of those. But it's like, okay, yeah, you're talking about their many virtues, but like, why do you like them? Yeah. And I wonder, so if Rachel is sort of like that, there's just that intangible pull of like, I want to be close to this person and it's harder to put into words as opposed to the like, I can say that he is like XYZ, all of these different things.
She's in a tough spot, like Rachel, because like I was not giving answers all the time that the show liked, in a sense, because I was always like, listen, I get this is crazy, and if I get and propose to your daughter, like we'll have a long way to go to get to know each other. I could see myself re-proposing, but like this is the world we're operating in, kind of thing. I really care about her. I love what I know, but like I am realistic about what we're getting into. And I would say this to parents, and maybe Rachel had these conversations with parents and we just didn't see it. But like at the same time, Rachel kind of came across as like when her mom was like, you know, this isn't real. And she was like quick to be like, no, it is real. You know,
that's
and instead of letting her mom, like instead of validating to her mom that like, yeah, this is a very unrealistic setting. Because that's ultimately, like her mom is right about saying this is unrealistic. But Rachel almost kind of little like mini fight with Tino's mom, be like, no, it's real. My feelings are real. I feel real feelings for your son.
When she said like, this isn't real. And it's like, well, it is.
Well, it is.
I was like,
it is.
I kind of like that she said that.
No, I mean, it's entertaining, but I'm just saying like you're walking to someone's house, you're in love with their son, whatever, bachelor world. And like there was definitely, and again, I don't fault her for it, but if I'm playing devil's advocate,
here we go.
I have empathy for his parents who like, it's their kid. They don't give a fuck about this show. You know, they didn't sign up. Like
that's good parents. I'm talking about like parents that care about the money.
Yeah. You know, they definitely don't have Tino's like business plan best in mind.
I think it is really fair. Like that they were behaving in a way that was very much in protection of their son. I just think I think you can fault them a little bit for not having a tiny bit more empathy for the fact that this is someone who is in your home for the first time, who is like meeting you. I think you could have been a little bit more warm and welcoming.
That's what I'm saying. They were not very nice.
They could have been more warm.
Because like you look at like Jason's family, like they were just so warm. Like Jason's dad bought Gabby flowers.
He wanted to be the best man at the wedding. He was like, I hope I can be your best man.
The dad was so sweet.
It was just so sweet. Sister,
where did Jason come from? Why is he like that?
For real.
Becca hates Jason.
Why do you hate Jason?
I literally wrote Jason is so hot, very, very hot.
He is hot.
Empty shell of a person though. I wrote that down.
I think if you went on a date with Jason, you would be surprised.
Oh, I would make out with him for sure. I would figure out why. I love
Jason.
him.
Jason is not willing to share everything about himself
on camera.
Here's what I think. There are some people who need to like speak and like show you. There's that's how that when they almost get nervous, there's like an
and that feels icky too.
Diarrhea of the mouth, where Jason's more like, Jason doesn't need people's validation immediately.
Maybe I just think he's hot and I'm like mad at him for not being like fun. Like I want him to be different, kind of. I want him to be more open and like talk to Gabby because I want them to end up together because they're both so hot. Like I think they should end up together, looks wise.
I think it's Eric now.
I think it's Eric and Zach. Mm-hmm. I think Zach is I think Tino is the equivalent of Luke Pell from Hannah Brown.
Maybe. Ooh. I just think she's gonna end up
not
with
Christian.
Him.
Like
I think Rachel's
I hope they do,
hot committed.
I actually no, I want him on Paradise. I want Tino on Paradise.
Would they have made it that definitively like, oh, she did bad, Rachel did bad at Tino's hometown though, if he lost? Because to me it was like, they're really emphasizing how bad this went for the redemption arc. Like they were emphasizing like how well it went with Zach.
It could go either way.
Yeah. And how like because I feel like if Tino loses, like you don't make it that black and white on hometowns.
I do. Because if he loses, this would be the reason why she sends him home.
I think he has a meltdown.
Family's approval.
Fantasy suites, though. I feel like he's gonna have a meltdown.
Yeah,
she could.
His ego.
I think she should pick Zach. I don't think he will.
I think she does end up picking him after.
If she doesn't pick him, what do you think of Zach of The Bachelor? Because I can see that.
Boring. I
think they're gonna do it.
I feel like or an Ari Becca thing where like she feels like she has to choose him. He chose Becca because he felt like he had to.
I feel like the Bachelors are more guilty of picking who they think they're supposed to pick.
Did you do that?
No.
You didn't have very much like strong contestant on your thing. Sorry. It had to be the one you proposed to like the entire time. Vanessa, right?
I mean, that's who I was into for sure.
That was the only one. Oh wait, you had Rachel too.
Rachel, exceptional person. Yeah.
There was never like, oh my God, is it going to be like what, Corinne versus Vanessa?
Yeah, I was pretty locked in on Vanessa the whole time.
Are you mad at casting? No. Okay.
Couldn't be happier with my life.
Well, now everything worked out, but
yeah.
I'm just saying.
You mean like at the time?
Yeah. I knew it. I knew it. Hannah Brown season was really good. They had a lot of good men.
JoJo had a good.
You know who should be like Bachelor? Tyler Cameron.
No.
Why?
He's through the ceiling. He can't come back down now.
Actually, he just broke up with his girlfriend.
First of all, they can all come back down.
It wouldn't be a smart business decision.
It would not go well for him.
I know. I don't care. I want to watch it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would be fun to watch the.
I want them to actually be into The Bachelor. Like
I could picture Tyler Cameron Bachelor season being
the all time best.
Well, I don't know.
The girls would hate each other.
They should do a Bachelor All Stars where they pick like the biggest one that got away.
What's that movie?
Bachelor.
What's that movie? Some killing Jesse.
Oh, the three girls killing Jesse.
Say more about the movie.
The three girls team up against the guy.
How to Kill John.
John Tucker Must Die.
Yeah,
John Tucker Must Die.
How to Kill John Tucker.
Killing Jesse.
I just think he would come across as a massive fuckboy.
But the season would be amazing.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, the women would. Yeah, no.
Or just like someone really hot that like everyone.
If I'm Tyler, I wouldn't be the Bachelor. It would not go well for him.
I don't know if he's smart. I don't know. I mean, he did say I don't know. I feel like what's he doing now? He just broke up with his girlfriend, hottest girl of all time, Paige Lorenz, hottest girl of all time. Hottest girl of all time. Why would they break up? I think he's
hottest girl of all time.
I think she's my friend though. You're welcome, Paige. But for real,
okay.
I cannot believe they broke up.
Wait, they're friends. You're friends.
Yeah.
T?
Yeah, there's T. He broke up with her. He broke up with her and immediately did media like that day. They were dating for like 3 weeks, and she had just broken up with Morgan Wallen.
I'm assuming he had media planned.
Yeah, I just think that was a weird 3-week relationship. Have you looked it up?
Were the paparazzi photos staged?
Oh, I don't know. I love you, Paige. I don't know. She wouldn't tell me that. But I think that he might be in casting for The Bachelor because why did he break up with her out of nowhere?
Maybe he doesn't like her.
Have you seen her? She's really hot.
But it's not just about that.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Okay.
All right. So, anyways, you have any tea about Tyler and Paige?
The reason I feel comfortable.
I don't know, but what do you know?
All I know is that she was really into him the entire time, like really into him, and I don't know if he felt the same way. I'm speculating though because I was on her close friend's story, but I stopped reading.
They only dated for like 3 weeks. To your point.
Yeah. But I think that they broke up out of nowhere, though. Like, everyone's confused.
Is it out of nowhere if you've only been dating for 3 weeks?
Yes. That's usually the beginning of that's not when in a honeymoon phase?
Well, I mean, I don't know how the relation started or if, like...
But if you've only been on a few dates, like, were they exclusive
at that point? They were
Instagram official. How long were they hanging out? Well, they were Instagram... Were they, though?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I'm passionate about this.
I was, and again, I'm not, but I thought it was more like they had these pop photos and that got leaked. And then
they posted together.
They both did.
He did too. And then a week later, he was on a podcast being like, our relationship, we're going our separate ways. And then Paige commented and was like, this is weird. Media, weird. And I literally texted her and was like, congrats on dating Tyler. Like, that's awesome. And she was like really happy. She was like, oh my God, thank you. I love you. Like, never mind. Morgan's not going to watch this. Best upgrade of all time, she said, from Morgan Wallen.
I mean, of course.
That was a week before they broke up. Kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they went Instagram official, I hear you, because like, why go Instagram official if you're going to end it in a week?
I think he is the next Bachelor. What's he doing with his life right now?
What is anyone doing from Bachelor Nation?
What are we doing, guys?
You know?
I mean, you're doing well. You have this.
Sure.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
No one knows. Why are him and Matt not friends anymore? Does anyone know?
I've heard things.
Like what? Can you tell me? I don't know it.
Yeah. Also, didn't he on that same interview, he was like, I don't know why everyone thinks we're not friends. And then he referred to Rachel as the old ball and chain.
What? I didn't even see that part.
It's like, you really want people to think we hate her. You hate her.
That good old love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I don't know. They're only dating for 3 weeks, so maybe
that is not the time most people break up.
Maybe he felt like she was promoting their relationship too much.
Or maybe he is in talks to be the Bachelor. Have you not seen those things?
Do you think the only way that he would break up with Paige is...
Yeah. I just love her. She's so hot.
I don't think he'll be the next Bachelor.
Why? He's going to ask for too much money, you think?
I don't think they're all that interested anymore in having him be the Bachelor.
I think you are delusional if you think that. Think about him as the Bachelor. Everyone would be obsessed.
If they really wanted him to be the Bachelor, they'd make him the Bachelor. It's like if ABC usually gets what they want in that scenario. And if they had to toss him a little bit more money, and to your point, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Like if they really want, you know what I'm saying? So like they must not really want him.
Well, we don't know yet.
You don't know.
Who the next Bachelor? So you really think it's what, Zach?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's really been unclear. And so since they don't seem to have any immediately strong options, like Nate went home last week, he's already kind of old news. There could be a Paradise Bachelor.
Yeah.
If things go the way I think they will, and she ends up with Tino, I think Zach is going to be really heartbroken. And you've seen Zach. He seems like a really nice guy. He kind of looks the part. You know, he's cute. His uncle's Putty from Seinfeld. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't give a shit about that. Wow. That's really disappointing.
I forgot that you're old.
Yeah. Either way, he's a legend. So
I just feel like he's a little bit boring for me. I think they all should have like a little bit of a fuckboy edge to them.
They don't.
What, the Bachelors?
ABC doesn't think so.
Okay, well.
I mean, I was considered the bad boy. I mean, come on. And I'm not even a fuckboy. Exactly.
Were you before your girlfriend?
No.
You were never a fuckboy, ever.
Well, I'm sure people considered me at times. I was always honest and very upfront. And I didn't.
I saw your call her dad. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it sounded like in the beginning of your relationship, you were a little bit fuckboy.
Well, it depends on what I think everyone's a fuckboy in the sense that like fuckboy is more about how people perceive you. I think Zach historically very much fits their mold of what they would like for a Bachelor. And I think he has a strong opportunity if Rachel doesn't pick him, because I think he will be incredibly heartbroken. He comes across as very sincere, very into the process, like he buys in. Opposite of Tyler. I look at Zach and I look at a guy who truly believes that he's in love and feels these strong, intense feelings. And he might have some, youthful immaturity too. But at least I believe that he believes it. With Tyler, I don't believe Tyler believes it. I think Tyler's just saying it.
Yeah, I don't trust Tyler.
Yeah.
Also, imagine his ego now, like thinking Tyler, after...
We're back to Tyler.
I'm sorry. I can't stop thinking about Tyler. After all of that, his ego is probably so high. So him being...
Oh, high about what?
Because he thinks he's so hot.
He is hot.
I know, but I don't think he would fall in love with...
anyone
on the show. No.
I agree.
He wants a PR.
They would not cast people he's interested in.
No. Yeah. But he would play along with it, I think.
He would. And then he would be exposed as a fuckboy.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked with Hannah. It wouldn't work as The Bachelor.
It really worked with Hannah. That was a really good season. That was like a really amazing
It worked
season.
because she was the Bachelorette and he was one of many.
And he was the underdog. How did he not win? That was crazy.
Because Hannah probably didn't believe in that relationship.
Yeah. Remember when he was a dancer? He was a dancer.
I remember. You were really into Tyler. Still.
Maybe I'm not, Paige. I'm not.
What do we think next episode is going to look like? Because we got cut off before we got to see Avon. And so do we think it's going to be...
Is it Fantasy Suite next week?
And do we think Gabby's going to eliminate anyone since she's already down to 3? Like,
that's a good question. Will Gabby have...
Or is it Men Tell All?
Well, like Nick was saying earlier, it's going to be
be
like
hometowns.
Avon,
It'll probably
rose ceremony, goodbyes, Men Tell All.
Men Tell All.
Yeah.
Is my guess. We'll have to watch Avon and then we'll be...
Oh, yeah, Avon.
There'll be something to talk about for sure. Should we talk about Eric's hometown a little bit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that's why I feel like Eric will either be the next Bachelor or she picks him. I think she's going to pick him. But like, if you're Gabby, I mean, she has to pick him because if not, you're kind of a dick
for keeping him there too.
Yeah, like you have to send him home.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know he's 100% your person at this point, you're like, no, go spend time with your dad. Like, why would you keep him if it was even on like?
How come Jason wanted to go home, but Eric's not complaining about going home?
Because maybe Eric really is more into
I know.
it.
I think they should end up together.
Yeah, I think
they should do 2 Bachelor seasons. 2 Bachelor.
I want that only because
they would fight.
I want to see that, but like after watching the season, you don't get to see any of the relationships.
Yeah.
Like
I don't care. It's boring to watch them make out for 20 minutes. I don't care. I don't need to know the contestants very much. I can see.
So what do you think is so boring about this season then?
It's just the boys are trying to be like too good of guys the entire time.
That's true.
Remember JoJo season?
Mm-hmm.
That one Chad.
Oh my God.
I need some Chad.
But you only get lucky with a Chad every so often.
Yeah. You only get lucky with like a violent man prone to outbursts.
Or Luke Pell though. He was crazy too.
Yeah.
Not on that season.
You could tell he was crazy.
Sure, but most people couldn't.
What? The whole storyline was that he was crazy, I thought.
Luke
Pell?
What were you watching?
on Hannah Brown's season?
On Hannah Brown's
not
season.
not Luke.
Luke Pell is on JoJo's season. Luke Parker.
Sorry. There's only room
crazy.
for one Luke in my brain.
Yes. Luke Parker was an amazing villain.
That was like the best villain
Was
ever.
Luke Pell the military one from JoJo's season?
Yeah.
Who ended up being like the biggest fuckboy of all time.
R.I.P.
What's he doing right now?
Literally nothing.
Probably hooking up with random girls at the club. Going home, being like, doing drugs, probably.
Any other seasons you want to talk about? No, Eric's hometown. Yeah, I guess.
Nailed it.
I mean, sweet. I don't know.
They'll like
He better
talk with his mom about like commitment and how you don't give up on people and yeah.
I'm a little surprised at like, why did they show those glimpses of Eric episode 1? Now that like we think he's going to like, why throw you off? Like, why make him look like I'm kind of a dick?
I saw that and I was like, I was wrong. Like, I was like, yeah, I kind of had petulant child vibes.
You were going off what you were going off of.
Because, yeah, like you didn't get the context
too.
of like, this is a guy who's like sacrificing so much to be here. So it makes sense if like his reactions to smaller things are a little bit.
He must win then. Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but I just seemed like, why did they do that? It was such an unnecessary beat on episode 1 to like.
What happened episode 1?
They showed this like, you know, it was like a hidden camera view.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they show a hidden camera view, it mentally as a viewer tells you like, you're not supposed to see this. Like you're spying on something you're not supposed to hear. And it was him just like kind of being a baby about not getting the first impression rose. It wasn't really a big deal, but it just like,
usually it
kind of showed him in a
like an unflattering,
like, yeah, kind of
setting him up to be the
antagonist, maybe a villain. Like, oh, this guy's gonna like he's a little entitled, and now you're just like, well, how did you show that, ABC?
I think they might not have known that he was gonna win. Yeah.
By the time they put that episode together, they knew his dad was dying, and they knew his dad had cancer.
Maybe the editor just doesn't like him.
I don't think the editor cares about the humans that are on the show.
True.
They're just
NPCs.
They are.
Yeah.
Jason's an NPC. So is Zach, I think.
Zach?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't think he has like a backstory. Like
But honestly, that's kind of how I felt about Susie at first, just from the show. I was like, she obviously looks so charming, but she didn't seem super human to me. Like, she just seemed like very like clean cut and lovely. And then meeting her in person, it was like, oh my God, she has an amazing sense of humor. She's so fun and outgoing. So I wonder.
But girls are like the best. Like, I like the girls, but the guys, I'm like, come on, really?
Yeah,
they don't have personality. None of them.
I guess I just don't feel like I know what Zach's like sense of humor is.
NPC,
like,
just background character.
Nowadays, well, I think the guys are just trying not to be fuckboys.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Zach was ever a fuckboy, though.
No.
What? You don't think?
Well, last week he talked about how he was really struggling.
He seems long-term. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, long-term girl. Okay, never mind. He does have a backstory. I forgot.
He talked about, he said he lost some weight, and it sounded like he was insecure about that, and it sounded like maybe...
Sorry, Zach. I completely forgot about that.
So it sounded like Tino was being a fuckboy. Zach seemed to be, working on his how he
therapy. I forgot
how he wanted to be.
Yeah, like his self-esteem.
Yeah, however he wanted to feel good about himself. He was working on that.
Zach's actually a great guy. I kind of I like him. I forgot about last episode.
I can't believe you guys don't know who Putty is.
No,
sorry.
Seinfeld. You didn't watch Seinfeld.
I know what Seinfeld is. I don't know the characters and their names.
Well, his uncle is. He wasn't one of the main four characters, but he was one of the more prominent recurring guests.
That's crazy that they didn't
legendary.
Talk about it.
They referenced it, but
it was also like Uncle at Hometowns. It's like we never see it.
Yeah,
I was like, is that Putty? Yeah, like
they didn't even give a warning that he was.
No, it just. But really, I mean, for me, it's super cool. Like, I want to talk to Zach about his uncle.
Yeah, you should.
We should get his uncle to recap an episode. I wonder if he would.
Are you gonna have any people from this season on the show?
We'll see about the ending.
Do you how do you decide? Why am I here?
Well, you're recapping.
Okay, but
as far as contestants?
Yeah.
Well, one.
Do you ever have them on to recap a show?
Current seasons, they're not really allowed to do that.
Or a contestant from the past?
It's sometimes.
Yeah, you had Bree and Kit on.
And Bree
and
Kit, Wells, Andrew and Greg, they were great.
He should be the Bachelor. Greg should be the Bachelor.
It's not gonna happen.
I know. I wish.
Where else we got?
The one thing I would say, a notable ITM moment that I really appreciated was when Gabby was like, Johnny's super hot. I know it. He knows it. You know it.
Oh, yeah. We forgot about Johnny's hometown.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did touch on it briefly where I did think his dad, I thought that was actually kind of a good discussion question of when he was talking to Johnny about not feeling ready, he was like, how do you not feel ready? Emotionally, I think you are. Financially, you'll go down that road together.
Which made me nervous.
Do you agree that...
Well, nowadays, sure.
You'll go down that road together. I'm like, is this man in debt? What's happening?
No, he was just saying, when my parents got together, people used to just get married, have kids, and figure it out. Now it's have your college tuition paid for before you have kids. So it's just a different expectation going into relationships. And my guess is Johnny's dad is having that mindset of listen, if you love her and she loves you, you'll figure it out, Also, you'll get to do some swipe ups and make some Instagram money. Maybe Johnny's dad has done the research that Tino's parents didn't do.
There we go.
And he's you got nothing to worry about,
This
man.
is the perfect way to get rid of your credit card debt.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yeah, I think more in all seriousness, I think it has more to do with a more old school approach. And quite frankly, it makes a lot of sense. I think we probably are a little too, maybe part of the reason why people have a hard time meeting and settling down is because we expect it all to be perfect before it starts, kind of thing. Where back in the day it was...
Yeah, the prerequisites are a lot.
It's a much longer list of things our potential partners need to come with or have before we date them. And Johnny's dad is maybe just YOLO. I feel like we need to wrap up on a prediction. Oh, we kind of done predictions.
I think that Tyler Cameron is the next Bachelor and Tino doesn't get chosen.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that Rachel and Tino get engaged, how long do you think they're going to last?
Less than a year.
Okay. Do you think Gabby and Eric would last?
I think they have a better shot.
I
Why?
think they do too.
Well, because I think, again, it's not a criticism for Rachel, but yeah, I think she is caught up in the fairy tale aspect of being the Bachelorette. I don't think Tino's parents are wrong about the questions they're asking her. I think Rachel has incredible expectations of how she wants to be treated in order for her to be happy. And I think that takes a special person. I don't think it's Tino. I think it's more of a Zach.
Trauma.
And so from a compatibility standpoint, I I see some holes in their compatibility long term. But I could this is off of so little information. And Gabby comes across as a little bit more, I'm gonna think it through and then I'm gonna react.
Well, Gabby's missing a mom basically, like emotionally, and Eric is about to lose his dad. So
maybe they can trauma bond for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I mean, people always say that, but like sometimes maybe
no, it might
they're
be
aware
healing.
of it, and
yeah.
they, maybe. Obviously, Gabby is in tune and supportive of therapy. I think she might be a great support system for Eric if she shows up with them, and maybe they could work out. Listen, every bachelor relationship is like starting with the odds stacked against them. It's incredibly hard.
Is watching the show like really hard to do?
No.
Together?
Oh, for the couples?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be so jealous.
Well, also,
imagine if you're Tino and having her listening call Avon, like, you're the first person I think of when it's hard.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that reminded me with Eric, the one-on-one where Gabby was opening up about her mom, and like I couldn't remember why there was something about Eric that had made me count him as a little bit less competitive, and it was that one-on-one with Gabby where she was really upset, and Eric at least the way they portrayed it on the show.
That does make a lot more sense. Oh my God, yeah, that makes way more sense now.
But I don't know. I think editing, we know the power of it, and I saw I think it was a TikTok of like someone actually breaking it down like frame by frame, and like there was chunks where you could see Eric's mouth moving, but there was no audio. So it's like the theory was no, he was actually saying stuff. He was comforting her, but it was not included.
That's probably true.
He was probably talking about his dad, and they wanted the reveal.
They took it out because they wanted the reveal for hometowns.
Yeah. And that's why she like jumped on his lap. Remember? She
was like, I feel so comfortable.
Yeah. They definitely probably took that out, and maybe it was for the reveal. And even if he didn't bring it up, maybe it was because, like, imagine the difficult position you're in if you're Eric. Abby's talking about her relationship with her mom or lack thereof. And like, how do you try to show empathy while not trying to like one up her by being like, my dad's dying?
Right. Like you're talking about how you feel broken because you're supposed to love your mom. Meanwhile, I have this like very like heartbreaking hero story.
You're like, you want to listen to her and she's upset, and like, how do you comfort her? And maybe she got upset. Yeah. I mean, like, I think we can now say that the Eric and Gabby first one-on-one, there's nothing we can take from it with any reliability. And what we know now about their hometowns makes a lot more sense, given that we now understand what Eric's family is currently going through. Mm-hmm. So another reminder, while we recap and we have these opinions, like, we just don't know who these people are. And
might not
maybe
be
Shanae's the same.
NPCs.
Maybe Shanae's the same.
Shanae is not the same. How is that the takeaway?
So Shanae could be a saint.
That is never going to be the takeaway. That's not the takeaway. Shanae is not a saint.
You might be.
Yeah, saints go around sharing mental health diagnoses nonstop.
Maybe it was
gaslighting people in a hot tub.
Not gaslighting.
Okay, whatever.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Anyways, thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow. Ellie Zeiler joins us, and we will talk about all the breakups in the Love is Blind community.
We'll also talk about Christine leaving the cast of Selling Sunset. We'll talk about Ben and J-Lo's wedding.
Harry and Olivia getting some heat for their relationship. Harry Styles.
Really?
Yeah, people don't like their relationship.
Fascinating. Also, Gwyneth Paltrow's joining Shark Tank Judge cast.
Texting office hours and
Wells
more.
and Sarah's wedding, now that we can finally
We'll talk about Wells and Sarah's wedding. Becca, let the people know where they can find you.
On TikTok at Becca Moore with 3 C's and 3 O's. And Instagram.
She's a very funny fellow on TikTok.
Oh my God, I got to compliment you guys. That was the first one.
That was not true.
What? You've complimented me before?
I called you wonderful when you started the show.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one. Anything else?
That's all I got right now.
Just watch it back.
I was 40 minutes late. I'm so sorry.
Thanks for listening, guys. Becca, thanks for coming. Great as always. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. But before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos, like our Mondays Ask Nick, especially if you're looking for some relationship stories and relationship advice, as well as our Wednesday interviews with your favorite celebrities and experts. See you next time.